What's up, guys? I've been wanting to make this video for a while. It's about a trend that I have found a bit disturbing, and it's primarily among young people and people who are financially desperate. And it's not a concept that is new. In fact, it's a decades-old concept, and it's a little something called multi-level marketing. And you've probably heard of multi-level marketing in many companies that have done that kind of thing in the past or are currently still doing it. Companies such as Amway, Herbalife, Pampered Chef, Mona V, Vama, what are the other ones? You know, the makeup companies, Avon, Mary Kay, whatever the hell. I find it really disturbing because basically what I have seen on a daily basis in this cafe I work in is that there's a lot of people, there's main guys who are recruiting tons of people around them, coming into the stores, doing these little little pep talks and feel good talks. It's not based on merit. It's just more like who can bullshit better into recruiting more people for them. So basically, that's why a lot of people mistake an MLM for, pyramid schemes, when technically they're not. I'll get to that in a second. Because it's just like they start right here, and then they recruit a couple guys down here, and then each of those two guys then recruit people down here, and then so the people at the top continue to make more and more money the more and more recruits there are. And the reason why it's technically not considered a pyramid scheme, any of these multi-level marketing companies, is because the difference is in why MLM is legal. Usually most MLM companies is because they actually do provide a product. I mean, to be honest, they actually do. Now, their products, I think, are complete and utter bullshit because it's usually shoddy makeup products, disgusting energy drinks nobody wants, overpriced lotions and potions, stuff you don't need. Food that, you can find way cheaper at the grocery store. It's just overpriced and unnecessary garbage, most of it. One that comes to mind is one here based in my home state, and it is called Scentsy. It is, I think, 10 years old now. It was based off the multi-level marketing structure, so they were providing a real product, but here's the product. Expensive wickless candles. You don't need that stuff. You don't need to blow a lot of money on a candle, a wickless candle. But somehow, especially during the 2000s, it was successful. But I was reading an article the other day in the local paper describing about how, this kind of company is now experiencing what's called the S-curve. So they had a huge rise in profit. Huge rise. And just recently, in the past couple of years, their profit's taken a different turn. They're not making as many millions as they used to. Some would argue that's typical of a lot of companies that just base their whole life, their whole company life around just consumerism. And, the trend will continue for years to come, as soon as they find different products to put out there besides fucking candles. And other things, they'll always try to come up with bigger and better things. So, I guess to give MLM, companies some credibility, they do offer products, people do make money, but it's usually the smart and savvy ones at the top who make the money. And the lowly recruits who try to work full-time and only end up making $20K a year, something ridiculous, when you could be working somewhere else with a guaranteed salary and not working as much. And I have this really good article I printed out, but I'm going to link it below in the description box. But basically, I wanted to make this video because it's disheartening to see. Because what I have noticed, and here's the warning sign. The warning signs are this. This is how they try to recruit you. And maybe some of you have experienced this firsthand. You could be at your job, you could be in your neighborhood, wherever. You can be anywhere. And you'll have somebody who comes up to you and they start asking you a lot of, questions about your personal life. What do you do? Oh, for young people, because a lot of this nowadays is geared towards young people, the ones who have really no money. And, they ask them questions. What do you do? Do you go to school? What do you want to be when you get older? And then, they try to slide their way into your personal life. And as soon as they feel like you're kind of getting comfortable with them, they go in for the kill and they ask, I do this thing, just selling shit. I mean, would you be interested in making some extra money? When you hear that question, your red flag should go up, because I have had this approach happen to me 3 times now within the past year. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just an approachable, nice-looking, articulate person in public, and they feel like if they recruit someone like me, then it's going to work out beautifully. If they just recruit someone like me and more people, it's going to work out great. When you hear that question, do you want to make some extra money? You need to say no. You need to say, I'm fine. Thank you, though. Why I say that is because this is how it works. If it's supposedly a great job, it usually works the other way around. It's usually you looking for employment. You looking for better chances to make money. Not the other way around. Not some potential employer, because it turns out they're not really employers. They just want you on their team, in their little pyramid team. And that should be a warning to you. Kind of like, why would somebody, approach a random stranger they just met 2 minutes ago and ask that person they just met 2 minutes ago to join their team and make extra money with them because their personality just seems to pop out? It's bullshit. It is bullshit. This has happened to me 3 times now. The first time it happened, I didn't know what MLM was. This was last May. And it was a guy who took forever for me to figure it out, because it was a new concept to me personally. I didn't understand it. And, when I was first approached about this, I was like, yeah, what's the harm in making some extra money on the side this summer? Yeah, why not? Who would turn down that offer? And I have a couple meetings with this guy. He tries to get to know me personally. He gives me bullshit gimmick talks, draws out fucking quadrants, like, this is one business and this is the other one. Does that spiel. I'm too naive at that moment to understand what's going on. But I'm slowly catching on as the next couple of weeks progress. I have a couple of feel-good meetings. Here, read this book that, a first grader could read and understand. And it's basically to reject naysayers in your life and people who will tell you, no, this sounds like a scam. You got to say, no, it's not. This is a good thing. And believe in yourself and you can be rich. They have you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and basically the whole spiel is you can make 6 figures in a few years doing whatever the hell. I don't even know what it is yet, because you haven't gotten to the fucking point. You haven't told me what company you're associated with. You haven't told me any specifics about how to sell things. All it is pep talk, feel good bullshit. And that is another warning. If you are naive enough to get into it and have a one-on-one meeting with their little sales rep about potentially joining their team, and they don't... And here's another thing. That should be another red flag. When you ask them, oh, would you like to see a resume? When someone says, well, I don't really care to see that, that is some bullshit. Because for all they know, you could be a high school dropout without a GED and with a criminal record at the age of 21. And they don't give a shit, because all they're looking for is a little underling recruit. You're just a number to them. Don't believe for a second that these snakes actually care who you are and they care about you. When they say something like that, that's another red flag. I mean, I'm just throwing all these red flags I've heard that sound like complete and utter horseshit. They care about you. They don't want to see a resume. They don't care to see a resume. They don't care about your education, your work skills, nothing. They don't care about background at all. When they give feel-good talks, and when they're copying that one guy whose name I forget, Robert Shaki, whatever his name is. You might know who I'm talking about. The bullshit extraordinaire, their idol. You know, you dare diss their idol. I've made some comments on some YouTube videos of the guy, and I'm like, oh, you know, they get all emotional about it, like, fuck you, you're probably a loser who tried MLM and you didn't succeed. I almost want to be like, you probably couldn't figure out that you're being conned. So don't come after me. I'm only trying to help by getting the message out there. In a harsh manner, yeah. I have to. Because sometimes it doesn't get through people's thick skulls that you're being conned, you're viewed as a number. There are people who are trying to recruit you, those snakes at the top. They don't give two shits. They're just wanting you to go out there and see if you can go door to door or to your relatives or to your friends or on social media and try to fling bullshit that no one needs, no one wants, and it's overpriced. And the other thing that bothers me about some of these MLM recruits is they try to get you into the mindset that, you know, college education and education in general is worthless. That doesn't mean anything. It's all about making money. You know, who gives a shit if you're dumb as fuck? We're just trying to get you to make some money. For them, you're probably not going to make a dime. If you do, it'd probably be $100, $200 over time for working your ass off and traveling around. What's the other thing? You know, holding little parties or whatever at your house. And what's the other thing? You know, I just get so wound up about it because it pisses me off. Anyways, I totally got off track. But to conclude it, it's annoying. So I will link up the article below. And I'm also going to link up a video to Penn and Teller bullshit about MLM. Watch it. It's entertaining and informative. I think they wrap it up in a much more eloquent way than I did. I get a little too emotional about this. You know, I try to get the facts out there and the warning signs, and look, basically, friends don't let friends do MLM. Period. Thankfully for me, when they tried to get me the first time to do this kind of thing and it was associated with Amway, I backed out before I could even put a dime into it. Because I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. Something just doesn't smell right. All right. Thanks for watching. Oh, God. Almost 13 minutes. Thanks for watching. Check out the links below. Friends don't let friends do MLM. Waste of time, waste of money, and flushes your dignity down the toilet. Thanks for watching.